Hello, everyone. Welcome. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sai. I'm an entrepreneurial musician and I help people step up to their passions and take that next step towards creating a life on their own terms. So, today, what do we have? Today, we have 5 tips for all of you who are in different stages of discovering your passions and bringing them to fruition, whether you're about to start your dream business or you're about to jump into your vocation and make a profession out of it, like me. What do you do? How do you go about it? How do you make the leap? And how do you strategically plan it out step by step so that you know that you're not getting in trouble, but at the same time, you have got a clear idea of how you're proceeding? So, here are the 5 tips. Tip number one, or should I rather say, step number one. Step number one is to build the business or your passion life within your head 24/7. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that let's just assume you're already in a job or in a social situation where you are not yet completely there, where you're not able to uh, completely live off of your passion, completely live off of your business. So, now how do you go about it? Because what generally happens is you think about quitting and you think about taking the leap. Yeah, all that is fine, but then you need to do this strategically. So step number one is you build this up in every layer other than the physical, because the physical is not something we want to touch first, because that is what is giving us stability in our lives, so which is necessary for you to go anywhere, right? So that's necessary, let's not touch that. So what are the layers that we can touch? We can touch our mental, we can touch the emotional layers, we can touch the spiritual layer. These are the 3 layers inside which we can build our business without anyone even knowing about it. Like, not a soul knows about it. And you can build a whole empire inside, which is going to soon manifest. So, 24/7, you're going to be building it mentally, emotionally, spiritually, by whether it's you're listening to podcasts, whether it's researching on how you're going to be doing it, how getting all your numbers in place, getting all your facts in place, listening to inspiring stories about entrepreneurs, about people who have taken the plunge, people who have started off with literally nothing. Whatever it is that it takes, whatever is the planning that it takes, whatever is the mental, spiritual, and emotional investment that it takes for you to be in that space, you need to do this 24/7, at least for 90 days, to the point that you might be physically in your so-called job or your social situation that you're in, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you're already there in your business. You are already there inside of your passion. You are already living that life. It is just not manifested yet in the physical realm. Okay, so that's step number one. Now, step number two: yesterday's dream is today's reality. Remember that yesterday's dream is actually the reality that you're living today. Now, on a broader perspective, you could say that somebody who dreamed up a reality, just like inventing the aeroplane, is now lived by us as a reality. We don't think about it as a dream, but it sure was, right? Like 100 years ago, and a lot more. Well, before, when the Wright brothers, started off their quest to get the aeroplane underway. So that was a dream, and today it's a reality. And it's the same thing with your life as well. The thing that you're living right now, no matter how out of tune or out of sorts it feels, in some ways, form or fashion, when you were in the womb state, when you were in a state which was not yet material, when you were in a state which was not yet physical, it was being manifested, it was being created as to what is today the manifestation. And this manifestation has come up to a point, has got you to a brink where it is now propelling you to go about and create that again. But this time with awareness, with intention, with clarity, and with focus. So you are going to be creating your tomorrow. Now you need to be writing this down, maybe, or recording yourself, or however it is that you find best. How is your life going to look 6 months to a year from now? How is it going to look now a year from now that you've taken the plunge, that you've jumped into this new venture, how is it going to look once you've followed your passions? What is it going to be like? What is every day going to look like? What are the responsibilities you're going to be living, and what are the joys that you're going to be experiencing? How beautiful is it? For me, waking up every day, having my year training and doing my musical practice is, yeah, I mean, it tops it up for me because I'm living it now. But it wasn't a long time ago. It wasn't. It had to be created in, yeah, it had to be created to become a reality. So how are we creating it? That becomes extremely important. So it has to be created. Your vision board has to be created. Write it down, record yourself, picture yourself being in that space, be more and more in that space, and you're slowly beginning to create the upcoming reality. And why this technique? Because this is the way you are going to be in control, and you're going to be able to see when it does happen that, okay, this is the way I designed it, and this was the outcome. So if there was some negative feedback in between of this, because we're all dealing with karma, right? So if there is some negative hindrance in between, you'll be able to see that as well, because that's bound to come up before you achieve your dream. There's bound to be all the nightmares inside of you, all the repression. That's going to be generally the first thing coming up. So you're going to be noticing all that, and the more you notice that, the more clearer your journey towards your vision becomes, because it's like everything else is out of the way. It's all negated. So your dream is all you see after that. Okay, now step number 3. Don't ponder over quitting your job or whatever you are at, which is providing you the stability, whether it's a city, whether it's a place you're at, which is stable. Might be stagnant, it's okay, but it's stable. It's helping the physical stay in a point of stability, because then it allows you to do this, to use it as a launch pad to then build your dream on top of that. So do not destabilize your current situation. Do not destabilize it, because that is, uh, let's put it this way. You are stable, your stable job, income, whatever it is that you have right now going for yourself, is helping you in a way that you don't have to think about it. Is helping you negatively, by not, by negative I mean it's helping you in a way that it's a negative help. Because help, we think, is when people help us go ahead, but this is a negative help. What does a negative help mean? A negative help is something that is stopping problems from arising. So it is helping anyways. It's stopping financial problems from arising for you to having to start to think about bills and all of that. And when your passion is not yet ready to make money, yeah, your business is not yet there where it's able to fund your bills as well. So that's why do not disturb the physical realm. So because everybody goes through this question, so when do I quit my job? Should I quit my job? Should I take the leap? Should I be bold? Oh, I'm still, I'm not, yeah, I feel like a coward. I'm not able to do it. Just get this out of your mind. Just get this out of your mind. The most important thing that you need to be really thinking about is that you develop your business, your passion, your goal to a point where the job should drop by itself. Okay, you do not drop the job, because if you drop the job, you get into polarity. The question of, oh, should I have, should I not? When things get tough, the mind tends to want to go back. So you don't want to be in that situation, because once you've taken it, you do not want to look back. But you want to take it carefully and in ways that is stern, stable, and buildable on top. So you want to do it in that fashion. So what do? We do not quit what we are doing in terms of our physical stability. We let it be. We let it be till the point that you have grown to an extent that the job will quit on its own. Like it'll just fall off like a dry leaf. It's not necessary to be quit. It does not need positive action. It will dry off when the juices don't flow there anymore. Once your soul's juices or your mental juices or your emotional juices do not flow in that direction anymore, it's bound to drop off by itself. So you really don't need to think about that. That's the last thing you need to think about. And coming to step number 4. So when the winds around you don't blow you towards or away from your job, that's when you're already full-time in your business or your passion. Now, what does that mean? Our mind is a very good reflection of what is our current external situation. So if our mind is constantly looking at our physical state as our job or whatever we're in, and telling us that yes we should not, I like this, I do not like this, if it's still happening, you're not yet there, and it's not the time to do it. It's not the time to take the plunge. You need to build it up a little bit more, till the point that that is just not in the periphery at all. Like that's not within your solar vision at all. Like it's way outside of your range, outside of your visual compass. It's just completely not there. I mean, let me give you an example. Like, for example, if you've ever had I don't know, an accident or a bad, just a bad friendship or something that really gone sour. You know how it plays in your mind for a consistent period of time. Like every day, the mind does think about it for a certain period of time. It could just be 5 minutes, but it does think about it. It stays in the mind till the point that when it's completely healed, it's gone to a point where you're not thinking about whether I should think about it or not. It's just gone. It's just completely. It's just healed, and you've just gone past it to the point that uh, it's not relevant anymore. That is the point where you need to take it to, because that means you have taken the plunge into your passion, and that is your new reality. It's not an oscillation. It's not a back and forth. It's not oh, should I go back or should I not? It's none of that. This is built with, it's built with precision. It's built to last. It's built to take you to the next level. And the last point number 5, if you are building it in such a stable way, it is just a matter of time before it manifests into the physical reality as well. Why? Because we've covered all the other layers. Now it is just a matter of time till the physical just falls off. Your old situation, your life, your job, whatever that you were in, it just should slowly wither away. As it slowly withers away, it makes room for your passion to permeate into those crevices, to permeate into that area of life, which is an everyday routine. Till now, your job was the everyday routine. Now, slowly, your business is going to be the everyday routine. Your passion, whether you've taken a plunge into music or art or anything else, right? Photography, whatever you've taken your plunge into, or you've started your own shop, you started your own online business, whatever it is that you've started, it's slowly permeating to an extent that it is being done 7 to 8 hours a day. Initially, it's going to be done like 2-3 hours a day. You're not going to get more time than that, right? Slowly, it's going to come to a point where you're able to do it 6 hours a day, and they are like, okay, I'm always already on the verge. Once you're able to do it 8 to 10 hours a day, like you would regularly do, right? Like as a profession, as something which stabilizes your physicality, that is the point where it's kind of already happening. It's already manifesting. Now, how does that get translated to the next one? In the beginning, maybe there's going to be very little revenue, maybe in the beginning. You never know. Sometimes it does click and it does, start off with a bang, but even if there is a slow growth, what you need to be focused on is in all of this, what is necessary is that you do not get faced by the situation or the circumstance. And how do you do that? By being able to philosophically and clinically dissect it. You realize that till now you had a stable point of reference, which was your job or your physical stability. Now you're replacing it with something new. It's come to a point where it is taking over. Now, soon after some time, it is the one which is going to be paying your bills. For me, music is, now it's paying the bills, but it wasn't for a very long time. But what I want to say is that it's going to slowly come to a point where it is able to pay its bills, and it's able to do all the things which you needed something else for you to do. For example, like maybe your passion or your business was not able to fund enough that you could live your life off, right? So everything else was funded by something else, which was not your passion, which was not your true calling. Now, whatever that is, you need to give it time till your passion comes to a point where it's so structured, where it's so well built, where it's so organized, and and all the steps of the way have been crystallized to a point that now it is able to supersede what it takes on the physical realm to exist. And mind you, because this is coming internally through a state of manifestation, there is not going to be a survival feeling. There is little to none. If you've done it properly, there's little to none in terms of survival. I cannot explain you how amazing it is. You do not feel survival. You feel the need to grow. Of course, you feel the need to grow. You feel like, oh, I haven't yet done it, and I need to, take it up to the next level. But you do not feel survival. You do not feel the same urge to work, because if you do not, you would not survive. You do not feel that. You feel the urge to work or to strive harder because you want to build this even more better. Because now what's happening, and why is it so? Like the reasoning, why is it so? It's happening because it's coming up from a dimension of where your soul birthed itself, like from layers above the fifth dimension. Now, in these are where these are timeless dimensions, and and what does a timeless dimension mean? It means that it exists even before you actually were born, and it exists even after you're here no more. So it does not know survival. So, for example, your image as an entrepreneur, as whatever your passion that you're here to live out, already exists in that spiritual realm. For me, as a musician, I can see it. It already exists. It's just that the so-called now I am living it, but it always was there. Even if I didn't, or even if I never took the plunge, even if I never went on to follow my passions or my dreams or my truth, it would still be there. It's just that I'm not able to experience that beauty. Are you getting it? It's still there. It's your business, your vision, your whatever is your deepest calling. It is already there in a realm of eternity, in a realm of timelessness. It's already there. It's just that you have not been able to experience it because you've not taken the plunge. So when you do take the plunge, you are tapping into this ethereal dimension which already exists. So when you connect with that, and now when you come to the physical realm and start making so-called money, paying your bills, etc., etc., there is no survival. There is just a quest to refine it more and to build it uh, in a way that it feels exactly like how it feels in that dimension on top. Like how does it feel like when the dream exists in the 10th dimension, in the anything from above the fifth? How does it feel? It feels extremely pure. It feels extremely refined. It feels extremely unadulterated. And that is the quest that you actually feel. You don't feel survival. You don't feel like if you don't do it, you won't survive. You feel more like, I want to bring it down, bring it to that level. And the level I see here is not satisfying enough. That is actually the quest which drives. So those, yeah, that's a quick primer, not a quick, a 17-minute primer. I should have kept it a little bit slower, but 5 steps, 5 steps, 5 steps, 5 steps on how you take the plunge. How do you start your own business? How do you get in? How do you follow your passions? How do you take the plunge from where you're at right now? So signing off, I'll see you soon. So bye for now.